Hello, hello. It's Mari Smith here. Welcome to this powerful Facebook Live. We are going to be talking all about Facebook ad targeting, how to leverage third-party data to dramatically improve the ROI and results of your ads. This broadcast is brought to you in partnership with my good friends over at IRI. They are a leading provider of big data, particularly in the CPG arena. That's the consumer packaged goods. I will be talking a little bit later all about IRI and the CPG industry, what that means. If you or your clients, you work in an agency or you work for a CPG company, this is going to be of particular interest to you today. However, if that is not your field, I've also got some really great information and Facebook ad targeting and tips for you as well. We're going to be taking a look at how exactly Facebook ad targeting works, how they get that data, how they use the data, and then of course how you can dramatically improve your ad results using third-party data. Now, I do actually have my friends here from IRI. We're going to have Ryan will be tuning in. If you've got any questions specifically for IRI on the data side, you can definitely go ahead and ask him those questions. Okay, wonderful. Let's do this. I prepared some slides for you, and we will be looking at my desktop, possibly my phone as well, and giving some great content. Here we go. Perfect. All right, Facebook ad targeting, as I mentioned, how to leverage third-party data to improve your ad results. Greetings, everybody. Good to see you here. Of course, you've got questions for me, anything at all on the subject of Facebook ad targeting and especially utilizing third-party data. I'm going to show you kind of a timeline of how this is all unfolded. So let's do this. Facebook and data. My friends, I'm sure you will all agree 2018 was a difficult year for Facebook. And excuse me, it was not exactly a marriage made in heaven, right? Facebook and data were had some challenges last year. It was the year that personal data was constantly, it seemed, excuse me, in the headline news. Of course, we had Cambridge Analytica. Facebook ended up being called in front of Congress. A very, very challenging year, but it really brought to light consumers. See, because we're all consumers here. I know my audience is generally business owners, small business owners, agencies, brands. We have a wide variety of business people tuning in here today. But of course, on the other hand, we are all consumers. So it brought to light this concept of the data that's collected on us. How is it collected? Is it collected in an ethical manner, right? That's just so important. Is it collected in an ethical manner? How is it used? How is our data used? Do we even own our own data? How is it used? So the good news, though, I think really 2018 brought to light this shift to a place of consumers understanding more about their data. Okay, so I'm sure you'll all agree that part was a good thing. We suddenly started to get more hip, more awake, more alert to, gosh, there's a lot of data out there on us individually. And the number one most important part is it being collected in an ethical manner, because everybody knows, right? Everybody knows that data is collected. Every time you make a move anywhere, online, offline, it's collected. And we actually, consumers, generally speaking, we don't mind that. And what I'm going to connect this to today is how that data is used for ad targeting in the best possible ways. All right, carrying on here. So hands up, who here saw the Mark Zuckerberg Wall Street Journal opinion piece? I think it was January 24th it came out. I was actually in Cancun at the time, in Mexico. And this was really, really eye-opening because I don't know, but I don't think that I'd ever seen like an opinion piece in a major publication like Wall Street Journal by Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook CEO. And what was it called? It was called The Facts About Facebook. Did you guys see that? I thought it was really fascinating. And Zuckerberg felt it really necessary just before the earnings call and just before Facebook's 15th birthday. Look, people, I want to tell you, this is how Facebook works in terms of ads. And I excerpted this piece for you. People consistently tell us, that's people at Facebook, right? The users, their audience is always telling Facebook that if they're going to see ads, they want them to be relevant. Okay, this is a huge topic of today's conversation, right? We want our ads to be relevant. They want it to be for products or services that we would be on the market for. This means, Zuckerberg says, we need to understand their interests. Well, that part is true, and you'll see in a moment when I get further into my slide deck here today, that goes beyond just interests. It goes actually to purchases, especially when it comes to CPG, the consumer packaged goods. And we'll get into that in a moment. But so first of all, what Facebook does is it's based on interest. So how does that work? It's based on what pages that you have liked, what you've clicked on, and other signals, as they call it. And then they create categories. And get a load of this. This is what Zuckerberg used as an example in that Wall Street Journal opinion piece. He said, for example, people who like pages about gardening and they live in Spain, and then they charge advertisers to show ads to that category. So that's generally how Facebook ad targeting works. We as advertisers are paying to reach those categories of people. And, we're pretty much aware of that. You can really dial down as an advertiser. You can select a huge variety of behaviors, interests, demographics, and get really, really granular. The Facebook ad targeting is pretty much incomparable to any other advertising platform with the amount of data that they have. And like I say, a lot of it, though, is what's called interest-based or even what's called inferred. Like it's inferred, well, you like this, then you might like that, okay? So that's what we're going to help to kind of demystify a little bit here, both as consumers and businesses. We have both hats on today. All right, so advertisers and data. As I mentioned, Facebook offers the most granular targeting. It's extraordinary. Listen, if you have invested in Facebook ads and you haven't necessarily gotten as good ROI as you would like, it's generally speaking because you haven't quite gotten your targeting right. Even shifting one target parameter can make all the difference. You could literally double your ROI and results by fine-tuning those targeting parameters. We all know the advertisers target us using our data. That's fine, we know it. And it's basically, as I said, interest targeting. The partner categories, this was the big change that happened last year, about a year ago now. Well, actually a little maybe 10 months ago now, that Facebook actually removed what's called partner categories. And that's where they gave us as advertisers access to third-party data right inside of Ads Manager. And that you could target your ads, based on very specific purchase behavior or income levels. I think they've brought back recently a little bit around the income levels, which is good. I know that targeting, higher net worth individuals is a very well-targeted area. But anyway, this partner categories, the third-party data, basically what Facebook did around the Cambridge Analytica scandal and the whole data coming to light, as they were like, oh, okay, we are no longer going to be responsible, if you will, for this third-party data. We're going to cut ties with these partner categories. But what I think Facebook did not do a good job of communicating to advertisers, current and future potential advertisers, is, hey, absolutely, you can still access third-party data. You just need to go directly to the third-party data companies themselves. We're saying, go to them. They're the experts. They're responsible for the data. And so that's what happened there. And you'll understand more as I progress here as my slides and the role that IRI plays. They're a long established company. Facebook ad targeting is based on information that users share and the likes, plus, as I mentioned there, see inferred data. We're going to take a look at this. What users like and our interests. So for example, I'm going to say Skippy peanut butter. Let's say we like the Skippy peanut butter page. Does that mean that you've actually purchased the Skippy peanut butter? Does it mean you even like it? Does it mean you have any intention to buy it? Or related products? Maybe not. Maybe you just kind of like their brand, but you've never bought it and you've never have any intention of it. I'll just tell you right now, I don't care for peanut butter. I like almond butter. I like organic live raw almond butter. And Christopher will tell you it's like $22 a jar. It's crazy. I know. I treat it very, very respectfully. I only have little bits at a time. But Skippy Peanut Butter, don't mean to call them out. They're a wonderful brand, great Facebook page, highly, highly engaged. They have a lot of fans, actually. If I hop over to my Facebook desktop, you can see my desktop as well here. Just so we can put them on this broadcast here. Whoopsies. Stretch up there. Yeah, 1 million, over 1 million people, right? So 1 million people have liked the Skippy Peanut Butter page, but that's the point we're making. We're kind of differentiating here between the behavior that we have on Facebook, the products and brands and posts and content that we like, we engage with, versus what we do in real life and what we actually purchase, especially as it comes to CPG, the consumer packaged goods. So you guys know this. Again, now we're going to put our consumer hat on for the next couple of slides here. And whenever you see an ad in your Facebook feed, you have the ability to tap on the three little dots and navigate down the menu and to see why you're seeing this. I love studying that. I love to know, why is this advertiser targeting me? How did they get my information? Why am I relevant for this ad? And this is actually a recent update. This is just Facebook screenshot from, they always use that Jasper's Market. And they're being as more and more and more transparent and crystal clear about how Facebook gets your data, or how that ad is targeted to you. So it might be Jasper's Market and its partners, for example, or just Jasper's Market in this example. Partners meaning an agency, or in this case, a third-party data company like we're talking about here today with IRI. So that's totally transparent. You can see that. It's all ethically gathered data that is then utilized in ads. Tapping further into that, you can literally even see, this is like mobile screenshots, you can see which partner, you can even see who it is, which partner and which agency is where you can see where my cursor is. It's going to give you all this information. So I think it's so important for us as users to really grasp the truth of how the ad targeting parameters are available to us as consumers, as users. We can go in and we can see why we were targeted. And in a moment, I'm going to even show you where you can control some of your interests. I think it's an area that's not talked about enough. I think users and consumers on Facebook and Instagram are just not as aware, or Facebook hasn't done quite as good a job as they could to educate users. Here's how to adjust your ad parameters when it comes to Facebook data, right? So let's take a look at that. That's called your ad preferences. Now you can do this on mobile or desktop. This is a screenshot right here. I'm going to go in and show you this on my own Facebook ad preferences. And then we'll switch gears and we'll go back to putting our advertiser hats on and to see how we can get even better results with our Facebook ads, especially when it comes to third-party data. So anywhere on Facebook, you click the little down arrow up there and you're going to go into your settings. And then over here on the left, it's ads. Let me zoom in a little bit because I know that small font. Over here on the left, ads, where you see my cursor is, okay? Settings and ads. All right, so under here, you've got your interests, advertisers, information, ad settings. All of these are different areas that you can drill into. So let's take a look at this. And I don't mind you guys seeing this. You can go ahead and check your own as well. So your interests. And you think, okay, Mari, well, where did all this data come from? If it's a page, like here's Zillow, apparently I guess this is interesting because I've clicked on an ad related to Zillow. That's not even saying I've liked the page. There's HubSpot. I probably liked that HubSpot. Well, look, I've liked my own page. But then it's interesting is what I see is some other ones where it might be just a general topic, right? Lead generation. And you can see more, and there's all of these categories, right? Whoops, it's jumping around here. News, entertainment, people, travel, hobbies, technology, all kinds of things. And if you don't want that to be in there, you just hit the little X, okay? And you can even see sample ads. Let's take this one as an example. Can you see that on the screen? My camera's over the top of it. But this is a small business. If I tap on that, I'm going to open that up, and I'm literally even going to look at sample ads. These are not necessarily ads targeted to me, but this is sample ads that are targeting small business. And what I find is interesting because what did I see in here? Yeah, like this is like a page called Waffles and Whatnot. And now, obviously, they're probably targeting a geographic area. I'm not sure where that is. Picolinos. So this is just example ads. But then like Intuit, Amazon Business, they're targeting small business as a category, right? So that's interesting. And you might want to go in there and just really drill around and see what kinds of things that Facebook has under interest. Then you've got your advertisers. And this first area is really fascinating to me because it's basically saying these advertisers are running ads using a contact list. They are their partner uploaded that includes information about you. Usually it's an email address or a phone number. Now, there's all kinds of lists out there. I don't necessarily recommend buying email lists unless they're, from a legitimate source, of course. But it just amazes me because I know, like, I drive what do I drive? A Volkswagen Passat. So I know them. Oh, how is it? I'm on a Toyota list and a Nissan list, a Kia list. Oh my goodness. Maserati. Oh, there you go. I wouldn't mind a Maserati. But you can see all of these different areas. And again, same thing. You can check the little X. You can remove it. Like, you don't want to be targeted for that. You've also got your own information. And if you want to take this off, like I actually choose to not have, I am in a long-term committed relationship, but I just happen to not put that on Facebook. And then your categories too. This is always interesting to me. So lots of great information in here that you can choose to exit out. You can remove it if you don't want to be targeted on those areas, or you can just adjust them, or even just for educational purposes to see, oh my gosh, no wonder I keep getting targeted, as an expat. Facebook has me as an expat. Well, I am an expat. So don't mind about that. Okay, so and then that's your ad preferences as a consumer, how you can utilize, you can go in there and it's definitely available on mobile too. It's quite easy to find on mobile, and you can definitely adjust your settings in there. Oh, Gail, I just saw a funny comment from Gail. She says she puts in that she's married because she gets so many wild friend requests. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you see, we all have our ways. So then one more area that Facebook has done in the last 12 months to really, really amplify this ad transparency and data transparency and ownership and clarity. And they brought out this ad transparency tool. So you can use the transparency tools to see every different ad an advertiser is showing to anyone, right? Not even just to you. Let's look at an example. Here's a screenshot of my friends over at Social Media Examiner. Going to be speaking there next month. Oh my gosh, I think it's about 6 weeks away. Are you coming to San Diego? Love to see you there. But every single business page now has this tab where I put my red arrow there. Info and ads. So you can see what ads are they running. You cannot see the exact targeting parameters. You'll see the country and the ad, and then you can click through to where it goes. And that's it, though. You don't see all the individual targeting parameters, which is fine, because when this first came out, I know there was a lot of marketers going, oh my gosh, I'll be able to reverse engineer people's marketing sequences and funnels. And but I don't know, I haven't seen or heard a lot more about that. I think for me, I just enjoy every now and again, I will look. Also, when I'm taking on new clients, I always take a look and see if they're already running ads, things like that. So that's handy. All right, so here's where we want to talk about this problem. There is a problem when it comes to ads because everybody here, I'm sure, will agree, there's something called ad fatigue. There's ad fatigue. There's ad blockers. I just noticed my camera's over there. I'll put myself down over there. See, that's a nice thing about this cool software. Inaccurate ad targeting. Everybody here has been on the receiving end of an ad that wasn't relevant to you. Like, for example, I know for me, let's say I get an ad for something to do with baby care products. I'm like, well, I don't have a baby. I'm not even a parent. Anything to do with parenting. Sometimes I see an ad for like I'll say something to do with your chiropractic practice. I'm like, well, I'm not a chiropractor. Or, if you see an ad for dog food, but you have a cat. Do you know what I mean? So what happens is that we get frustrated with these inaccurate ad targeting. And because most advertisers are using what's called inferred data. You just saw all that over there when I showed you my own Facebook targeting parameters with all the stuff that Facebook has on me, where it's like, they said, well, you like this, so you probably like that. And we've surmised that you like this, and we think you might like that. And so the ad efficacy is reduced, it's diminished, especially in the retail space, because purchases are done offline, predominantly offline when it comes to retail, and especially the CPG, the consumer packaged goods. Many marketers have just spammed consumers to the point they've deployed ad blocking tools, right? I'm sure some of you here might have ad blocking tools. We're definitely recording this. Yes, it's a Facebook Live, so it's an automatic instant replay. Thanks, Sherry. So the solution is that you can improve your ads using data. All right. So that is the good news. And I'm here to dispel any myths. And between Ryan over at IRI and myself, we can answer any questions about this whole topic of data, which has been a tricky one to navigate over the last 12 months or so. But fortunately, we're now coming to a place where it's just more transparent, even more, people are just more knowledgeable. So after that big challenge, as I mentioned earlier, Facebook, the big challenge that Cambridge Analytica last year, they removed the third-party partner categories. I mentioned that earlier. So basically they were like, whoa, okay, we're not going to be responsible for this additional third-party data. Let's put that responsibility back over to the third-party data company. So that's their expertise. Yeah. Oh, great. Hi, Christina. Good to see you here too. But the advertisers can still use third-party data directly from the providers. And like I mentioned, I just think that Facebook has not done a very good job of educating advertisers that this is even an option. When IRI first reached out to me, we've been planning this broadcast here for many months, and I've been on a wonderful educational journey myself. And really have enjoyed getting to know and understand what IRI is and what they do. So, and we'll show you that a little bit more in a second here. The good news is between Facebook and the third-party data, you can much better increase or improve. You can improve the efficacy of your ads. Facebook definitely does still have very tight relationships with third-party data providers, so long as it's collected in an ethical manner and it meets all of the guidelines and the criteria, of course, right? Using third-party data is the most effective way to target precise audiences, and advertisers can still get this data. So right down to their brand. Let's say that you like a specific spicy Dorito, you like spicy Doritos and someone else likes plain Doritos. And right down to that kind of granular data can be targeted when it comes to CPG products. So third-party data and CPG companies, the consumer packaged goods merchandise that customers use up and replace on a frequent basis. That's what CPG is. Many of you might be familiar with it. If you are in the CPG space, or you're an agency that has clients that are in CPG, or you're a retailer that retails CPG, or a manufacturer or an agency that helps with ads around CPG, then this is where you want to really be pricking your ears up, because it's super exciting of what's available to you. So those of you that are not familiar, CPG is basically food, right? So things that we use up and replace frequently. Food, beverages, cosmetics, cleaning products. Those are just some examples. So most purchases, 95, can you believe it? 95% of CPG purchases actually happen offline. So when you're going to go to Facebook Ads Manager and you're going to try to target your audience, but it's so much of it is guesswork, right? I use the Skippy peanut butter as an example. How do we know that person really does like that peanut butter brand just because they've liked the page? Well, these purchases are happening offline in retail stores. Excuse me, and the store owner doesn't know, did you come into their store to make the purchase because you saw a TV ad, or did you see a Facebook ad, or maybe just the product was on sale, maybe a friend told you about it. It's really challenging to know that as a retailer in this example. Put my camera back up there. There it goes. So what I want to do is talk to you about what IRI is and does. Oh, that's great. Sherry says, I do a lot of packaging and web development for CPG. That's wonderful. Karen says, who doesn't like Skippy? Exactly. Feel free to answer any questions at all you've got. And especially from this point forward, I'm going to really talk about the power of this third-party data around CPG companies in particular, retailers, manufacturers, agencies, media partners. And Ryan is here from IRI, Ryan Santoro. He actually works directly with IRI and he's super knowledgeable. So IRI is a partner. Okay, that's important to know. They are a partner with Facebook. They have a long-standing, great relationship. They're BFFs. What IRI is they're a company, a big data company. They deliver powerful market and shopper analysis. And you'll see in a minute. It blew my mind when I was learning all this. And foresight for the world's leading CPG, retail, and healthcare companies. IRI helps advertisers and agencies know who to target, how to message them, and what the impact of their advertising did to their offline sales. Remember I said in the previous slide, the store owner is like, okay, Sally's here buying this, baby product. I don't know, how did she hear about it? Did she see an ad? Was it here? Was it there? Well, that's using this IRI data, then that can really help the store owner to understand the efficacy, how efficient that their ads are working and where the ad dollars are going, and tracking that right down to the point of sale, which is really powerful. So, and IRI has been around since 1979. They are a long established company. They're a leader and innovator in big data analytics technology. This is a complex slide, but it's simply the timeline you see way back in the 70s. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I wanted to just point out, if you can see where my cursor is circling. Remember way back when in the invention of the barcode scanner, OMG, right? So that really changed everything. That made it possible to track everything with a barcode can be tracked. And so that's a big part of what IRI does, but mostly what they do is through loyalty cards, right? You're all familiar with loyalty cards. You know, when you go into a store and they always ask you, do you have a Vons card? Do you have a CVS card? Where was I the other day? Oh, I'm spacing now. They asked me if I had a card. I don't recall, but it was it was a small shop, but it's like everybody has these cards, right? And we just got used to it. As consumers, we're used to it. And we know that we get better deals, right? So many grocery stores, whatever your local grocery store, you know that you've got that loyalty card, you're going to get a better price, right? So all loyalty card data is opt-in. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. We know we're standing at the checkout line, we're making our purchases, and we're not thinking, oh my God, is this all being tracked? You know it is. So it's opt-in. And now IRI actually has a pool of 500 million loyalty cards. It's the largest in the US. And I will point out, it's actually anonymized. It's again, we come back to this component of like, these companies don't have a file with exactly your name and address, and it's like fully identifiable. It's called PII, which is personally identifiable information. That is not what IRI has. And although Facebook has a component of it, they don't sell that, right? When I go to place my ad in Facebook Ads Manager, I can't say, I want to target Karen L. Brown. I'm just looking at your name in the comments there. Facebook doesn't let us target people by their personally identifiable information, right? We're going to target, as Zuckerberg said earlier in my presentation here, is those categories of information that the targeting goes. It's not identifiable to you as a person. And that's the same with these loyalty cards and the data. IRI actually serves 95 of the top 100. It's extraordinary. 95 of the top 100 CPG companies and relationships that average 15 years. Now, this is a bit small on your screen, especially if you're watching on mobile, but I'll bet you recognize many of these logos. You've got, there's Tyson, Nestle, dairy, what do we have here? Danone, yogurts, oh my gosh, Frito-Lay, PepsiCo, Hershey's, Smuckers, Starbucks, oh my gosh, right? P&G, Bic, 3M, Beauty Care, L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, Garnier, Maybelline, and then healthcare, Bayer, Merck, Pfizer. Lots of great information that comes from these brands that work with the IRI. But again, yes, you're welcome, Karen. She says, thanks for the clarification. So it's so important that we know that they do not use the PIIs, it's called, personally identifiable information. All right, next slide. IRI, now I love this one. So watch this. So IRI leverages robust loyalty card data, right? So 500 million loyalty cards data to truly understand consumers so that advertisers can reach them in meaningful, impactful ways. Actually, I need to go back just a little bit. Oh no, you know what? It's coming up. I thought I missed it, but it's a slide that's coming up. I'll show you in a minute. It's got a big map on it. So it's the world's largest passively collected database of unique verified household purchases. That's what HH means, purchase behavior. So watch this. Here's Denise. Denise with her red cup. She shops primarily at Kroger. She shops bi-weekly and generally during the evening. She frequently buys K-cups and specialty coffee. She buys spicy products and organic milk. She typically buys brand names and rarely uses coupons. She stocks up on party hosting items before major holidays. So this is the kind of information. Now we're using Denise here as an example, but that information is not passed on to Facebook or the advertiser. They do not know the PII. Very good. Okay, so then, and you can see, because you've got your receipts here, there's Rite Aid, Fred Meyer, Kroger. So all of that is gathered together in this giant database, this big data database that IRI has. Here's the one I was wanting was mentioning earlier. So IRI media software, they powered by 500 million of all the outlet cards, loyalty cards. Everybody has one. I know you have a wallet full of them. Sometimes they just go by your phone number. I often forget to carry my loyalty cards. I just go by my phone number. But this big arrow I'm pointing to here, look at this, 87% of US households, 117 million unique households, that this data, all of this data, it's extraordinary. And like I say, I said earlier, look, we know every time you make a purchase, anytime you swipe your credit card, anytime you have that loyalty card, anytime a transaction is made, really online or offline, we know it's being tracked. We know it's being utilized. And here's the thing, and Zuckerberg said it earlier. I made a point of pointing it out at the very beginning of this talk, that as consumers, as users, we actually don't mind ads, especially if the product's free, right? It's free to use Facebook as a user. And we don't mind seeing ads, but the better targeted they are, superb, supremely effective, laser targeted ad. I love seeing a good ad. Oh my gosh, how did they know? That's exactly what I wanted to see. Or maybe they've turned me on to they've kind of turned my brain on to a new product that I wasn't aware of, or service. In that case, it's always, I love to study ads on Facebook and Instagram, on the feed and the stories. At the core, so here's how it works. IRI takes insights and analytics. They collect it right here. You see that UPC scan data, and they audit it from retailers across the globe. And then they organize it in their giant big repository. They integrate it using their proprietary technology, and then they deliver it back out to their CPG retailers, manufacturers, media partners, agencies. And then the clients can go ahead and deploy tactics that help to really spark tremendous growth, because it's much more targeted. So for example, let's say that you are vegetarian. You're a vegetarian, you don't want to see ads for meat, right? And conversely, if you're a meat eater and you keep seeing ads for this new vegan service, you're like, but I'm not vegan, I like my meat. So it's like, the more that advertisers know about us, it's actually a more pleasant experience to use these online platforms such as Facebook. I love this. Watch this too. So this is what they call their liquid data ecosystem. And it's actually a full 360-degree view. So it's certainly the loyalty cards, and this is small on your screen, but I'm just going to put my cursor down here in this bottom blue section, because what this company is able to do, IRI, they're just genius with all their data. They can even impact this one little slice of pie. It might be too small on your screen, but I'm putting my cursor here where it's weather. So let's say, it's a local grocery store or a big chain, a Walmart, something like that, or Costco or something, you're at your Vons, whatever store you shop at, and it's a particularly rainy day. The gas price is being affected. There's a big local event. Maybe some streets are closed. There's all kinds of information that is gathered up together, including, are you a frequent shopper, the point of sale, the store level, all kinds of information goes into this huge, big liquid data ecosystem, which that part I just found fascinating. Like I say, I've just been learning about this over the last few weeks and months, and really understanding what IRI is and what they do and how they really affect and impact and help CPG retailers, manufacturers, and agencies that work with them. And so you can get some data. I've got that. I think I've got it linked up in the description and a comment as well, but I'll show you in a minute of what you can get for free, totally for free. And that says agencies. I'll just move my camera, make it a little smaller. So I put this one on the screen on purpose because I wanted you to see that on the publisher side, this first section, the IRI actually has relationships and partnerships with all of these companies and more on your screen here. So certainly they work with Twitter, Google, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, is that Pandora, I think, and Pinterest, Spotify, Hulu, and then all the ad tech, Oracle, Comscore, you name it, and then major agencies as well. So that's important to know. They all are very, very tight with their relationships, and it's all ethically gathered information from these loyalty cards. That's the important keyword there. Let's give you an example. Verified audience case study. This is a fabulous example for who can guess. Kind of giving it away in my screen here, right? It is for toothpaste. But it's not any kind of toothpaste. It's a specific toothpaste for sensitive teeth. So wouldn't you say, if you tend to have sensitive teeth, right? Teeth are sensitive to hot and cold. I know I do slightly. I tend to use a special organic toothpaste. It has no fluoride and it has essential oils in it. I know I have certain shopping habits that are very particular. So this is a fun audience case study from IRI about sensitive toothpaste. So the situation is a large toothpaste brand manufacturer wanted to run a Facebook marketing campaign to drive sales to their sensitive toothpaste portfolio. Right? So they wanted to ensure that they weren't wasting marketing dollars advertising to individuals who did not suffer from sensitive teeth. It makes sense, right? We've given many examples throughout this broadcast here today. And you can imagine if you've never suffered from sensitive teeth, and then all of a sudden you keep seeing this ad that's going, hey, Bruce, hey, Daniel, hey, Karen, sorry to hear that you have this. I'm saying your name. Obviously, it's not going to say your name. I'm just shouting out your names, but ads don't know our names. But it would be like, just, all right, do you have sensitive teeth? Or if you've got sensitive teeth, this is for you. And then you'd be like, what? I don't have sensitive teeth. Anyway, historically, what they did, the limitation was historically purchase-based segments were largely modeled and therefore had difficulties isolating that niche cohort, such as individuals who had sensitive teeth. So that's where IRI came in, and they were able to leverage the 100% deterministic, it's called deterministic verified audiences. I know big words here, but basically get that exact right group of people whom they knew had sensitive teeth because of purchase behavior. And they could target known households who previously purchased, what I just said there, sensitive toothpaste and other sensitive mouth products. Makes sense, right? So then the verified audiences by IRI provided the quality and scale needed for that particular campaign, resulting in leveraging the audiences on average, driving 3 to 4x sales lift, 3 to 4 times the sales lift than other audience types. Now that should be music to your ears. If you have a particular cohort, a particular group of demographics that you specifically want to reach, particularly in the CPG arena, and it's just you've otherwise thought, gosh, you've just been kind of doing some guesswork, right? Turning those levers and dials inside the Facebook Ads Manager. This is how you can do it using IRI verified data. And it ensures that you limit wasting marketing dollars by only advertising to known purchasers. That's the key point right there, my friends. So this is a really, really powerful way to do your advertising instead of the guesswork and the inferred data, as you're going to go by actual purchase data. All right, so okay, good. Here, and we'll get to any questions whatsoever, my friends. Let us know, and we can look at some more examples and anything you've got. But this is the offer here. If you could go to bit.ly/IRI, that's uppercase _ audiences with a capital A. I did put that in your broadcast, and it's in the comments, it's in the description. Let me just double check right here so I can do this. Yeah. Just pulling that up there. Yeah, Facebook lets you pin comments, but it's not always easy. Oh, thank you, Annalisa. You're the best. Oh, but it's IRI. Annalisa, you're so kind to put that in there, but it's IRI, not IRR, if you wouldn't mind changing that. Much appreciated. Okay, so let's, I'll get to that in a second. I want to just finish up what I've got here for you on the screen. So what we've got for you, and you can all go ahead and check this out. you get a free audience sizing of your brand. This is particularly relevant to you, of course, if you're a CPG brand, retailer, manufacturer, agency that works with CPG clients. Find out the size of your true target audience, right? Your true target audience based on who is already buying your brand or category. So you can basically see what competitors are, or what your target audience are buying of a competitor. And you can improve your targeting and the ROI for your campaigns. Perfect. Thanks, Andrea. You're the best. And what we've got on this page for you is you can learn more about how to improve audience targeting with purchase-based audience in a recorded webinar. And I watched that whole webinar. It's very, very educational. It's very interesting, even as I've tried to do here today. Whether you're in the CPG space or not, it's very enlightening to understand more about how data is collected, how it's handled, how it's amalgamated with other data, and then how it's utilized in ad targeting. And when we're on the receiving end of those ads, when it's extremely well targeted, we're like, cool, love it. I'll have laser targeted ads all day versus, badly targeted. That's why people don't like ads. If they're poorly targeted ads, they don't want to see them. So, but that's what we want to do here today is improve your ad targeting. So let me go over to that page right now, actually. I think I can just click on it right here, this link, bit.ly_IRI audiences. I'll put that in your free offer right here. And hop over here to show you that page if you haven't seen it already. So you can go ahead and check this out and understand how you can deliver the right message at the right time to the right people. That is the key right there. And you can go ahead and just pop this in here, the name of your brand, what category, and what you can do is really cool. You got 3 choices here. So you can see which brand specific audience you'd like to receive an estimate for. Could be households that haven't purchased your brand in the most recent 26 weeks, but they did buy the brand in the 26 weeks prior. Okay, they call that a lapsed audience. They call them switchers, which is households that purchase your brand and other products in the category. So they kind of switch around to different brands. Or category increasers, households that have increased their spend in the category in the most recent 26 weeks. That'll be a good one. And then below here, you just fill that out and hit get started. And then below there, you could do that and then come right back to this page. And you've got this whole webinar, just to make it clear that this is actually a 50-minute webinar right here.
It's now my pleasure.
And that's a video. If you click on it, it's a video, and it's got some tremendous information here. Watch the whole thing myself, as I say, really, really powerful and educational. I find it fascinating, even like as a consumer, just how it all works. So you've got that as an educational webinar. And then just to point out, just below that, you can download the PDF with all the slides from that webinar there as well. Okay, friends. So yeah, so that's just a really, really great education to understand how all of this works. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up some questions here. I think I saw one. Okay, yeah, great. So here's Ryan saying, when consumers sign up for loyalty cards, they opt in to having the offline data collected and leveraged for more personal online advertising. Exactly, because we know when we go to a store and they say, would you like to have our loyalty card? Almost always you're going to have to give somebody, you fill out a form, right? Usually they hand you a little packet and it has a form, and you're going to give them your name, your mailing address, your email address, and your phone number. So that then when you go in there, that is tied to that record. So they know when it's they know it's you when you're shopping. It's all collected together with your record. But again, back to this really important point about the PII, the personally identifiable information, that information is never passed along, to advertisers. The advertiser can't know exactly who they're targeting. They just know who's responding to their ads. Yeah, and Veronica, yeah, you're right. Food, skincare. That's a good one for Canadians. Ryan can take that. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that IRI is a global company. And there's another question for Ryan as well. Easy to correlate IRI data with Facebook targeting parameters. Yeah, hey Bruce, that's a great one. Yep, and Todd's saying, if you have a detailed avatar, can they build an audience based on that avatar or past buyer data? Oh, right, like a lookalike. Yeah, well, I mean, you can do lookalikes. You can definitely do lookalikes in Facebook. But I see what you're saying. If they have an audience based on that avatar, Detailed avatar. Yeah, I'm going to let Ryan answer that specifically to how it works with IRI. And I know Ryan's in here in the comments. And so he'll be, if you don't get your question answered right this second, he'll be definitely replying to in line. You'll be able to see that. Yeah. Hi, Gail. And then Gail's an artist. Find out who purchases art. Well, art is not a CPG, so then you probably could. You probably could, but just probably through a different company. Yeah, and Veronica Jean's a longtime friend of mine. She works in the e-commerce space. She's a Shopify expert. I know Veronica, you and I spoke offline. She has a lot of clients in the CPG arena, the skincare, beauty products, healthcare, things like that. Right. So Barb, and I think Ryan was answering that. So she's saying the data is not stored on a personal level. No, it is stored. It's stored on a personal level, but then that is never passed along. So the loyalty card level, the store level, and then IRI, but the IRI cannot. They actually don't have that information, and they definitely don't pass it along to the advertiser. It's all done. Actually, what it's done, and now because I'm just learning about this myself, but it's done actually, Barbara, through a specific identifier, like a little token. I'm not an expert in all this big data. I'm an expert with Facebook marketing and ads, and it's so important to me to bring this conversation to you all here today, especially in light of all that happened last year with Facebook and data. And there's still quite a bit of confusion, but we're going ahead and making sure that we have that as clear as possible with our educational webinars here, right? Yeah, that's interesting. Veronica saying, I see so many weird ads because I do a lot of research for my clients. A steel manufacturer was one of the best. So she's saying she saw steel clamps. I know, isn't it interesting? We've got to be careful what websites we go on to because we end up getting retargeted for things we have no interest in. Yeah, and that's great. Yeah, and Ryan's saying exactly better than receiving a coupon for your favorite brand. That's great. Yeah. Oh, Lana's here. Lana works with IRI too. So Bimbo is a client. That is actually Bimbo. That's the name of a brand. Yeah, Daniel. Hi, Daniel. That's great. All right. Other things. Oh, Sherry. That's right. Sherry, you mentioned that earlier. She does a lot of packaging and web development for CPG. That's great. Yeah, and that's and you definitely do have to there is a fee for the third party data, yeah, and then use it to target your ads. Now then, for clarification, friends, Annalisa is bringing up a really critical point because I would say unknown to 99.9% of Facebook advertisers up until Facebook removed the partner categories, the cost of the third party data it was folded into the cost of ads. So we all were paying for third party data inside of our ads anyway. Now, what's really interesting, and I don't know all the ins and outs of this, I don't know that since Facebook took away the partner categories, if that's really impacted the price, but it's still interesting to see like what's going on behind the scenes there. The bottom line is this: you gotta have Facebook ads. It's so important to utilize Facebook and Instagram ads, soon WhatsApp ads, Messenger ads, right? The whole Facebook family of apps and services in order to reach your exact, precise, ideal client. That is the key here. I just got off this morning a phone call with a new client. We were talking about how important it is to utilize every ad dollar to ultimately result in a sale of your ideal customer, your ideal client. It's not just using your ad dollars to get more reach, more views, get more fans. You know, a lot of those are what are called vanity metrics, or Sheryl Sandberg, COO of Facebook, she calls them proxy metrics. They are important. They're an important first step. Having some fans, having reach, having video views, all of that's important for awareness. But ultimately, the ad dollars need to track all the way through to end up in actual purchases. And that's where a company such as IRI here in the CPG space can help anyone any brand in the CPG space, retailers and manufacturers, to have significantly better results. Yeah. Uh, okay, yeah, no, that's an interesting question. Gardening fall in as a consumer category, and then Veronica saying it's no, think of products that are consumable. So I mean, yeah, that's interesting. Maybe things like I don't know, anything that you would use. It's like you use it up and then you're done and you need more. So gardening, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's aspects of it, maybe like plant food or fertilizer or bird seed or yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Good. And Bruce is wanting to see an example data set, like a dummy one, to have a look at it. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Well, you definitely reach out to IRI guys and gals. If you got any more questions after this, I mean, definitely pop them into this live. And I know the IRI team are here, but you've also you've got their email. You can email them right here at irimedia@iriworldwide.com. And they're very, very responsive. It's a great team. It's a giant global company. They're very, very approachable, friendly, and helpful, and they really love their clients. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, friends, this is great. It's really a delight to be here with you today. If I missed any of your questions, pop them along here. Oh yeah, yep. Pet food is definitely one. Veronica's mentioned there. Most definitely pet food, human food and pet food, right? Yeah, exactly. And Ryan's saying, yeah, definitely, yeah. Reach out to IRI audience. It's IRI Worldwide. Let us know more about what you're looking for. Perfect. Thanks for that, Ryan. Yeah, thought starters. Love it. Really nice. Okay, it's been a delight to be here with you, friends. Got a little bit of homework to do. Go and fill out that form if it's applicable to you, if you're an CPG brand or you a client is, or you want to scope it out. Watch the webinar. I know that was very, very informative. I loved learning more about just how this whole concept of data and loyalty cards and targeting and third party data in conjunction with Facebook works. And we'll be back more with more broadcasts, more supportive content for you to help you to improve your ads and grow your business. My friends, it's always a pleasure connecting with you. Have an enjoyable rest of your day. Many blessings. Bye bye.